We have made some progress. The head is off. We just took the, that's my ratchet. We just took the coolant and oil lines off that go from behind the head to the twin turbos, so you can delete those. And then we obviously have the head off and the plenum, and now we are going to be deleting the oil cooler, not the oil cooler, the oil warmer with the coolant lines. And then what we're theoretically going to do is take the coolant line that goes from the junction block right there for the heater hose and take that line and then just route this one to here, and that will get rid of a bunch of stuff that we just had to undelete. So now we have to get the sandwich plate off, order a sandwich plate so we can relocate the oil filter, and yeah, that's what's next. So here you can see that it was kind of stuck, so I had to hit it with a hammer. I was throwing this piece away anyway, so I didn't worry about damaging it. That's why I'm not using like a dead blow or anything. But once it broke free, I was able to take it off and remove it. Essentially, we have the, I'll show you here in a second, but what we did is the engine mounts just came in from Raw Brokerage, so thank you. And they just look like this. They're Nismos. Both of them have right, but they are directional, so just make sure that when you take them off, they're the same. And what we have to do is these are inside of a bracket. So you take off this stud, they're all 14 millimeter. And when you do that, you just loosen these up, and then there's a stud right there, which there's no washer on that one. And then you come over here, I should show this side because it's easier, and this one, and you just crack these loose by hand, and then you take this one all the way off. And what we're going to do now is put a piece of wood on the oil pan and jack it up, and then what that's going to do is it's going to take pressure off the engine mount itself, which is right here. And we're going to undo these so that way you can take this off, pick this up, put the engine mount on, and then slide it back on and put the bolts in. There is one bolt underneath. I have to take the one bolt underneath off next, but I'm going to jack it up first. Engine mounts are done. Torque them to 42 foot-pounds, and essentially what you do is, like I said, piece of wood on the oil pan, jack it up, and then loosen this nut. I did not torque that one. I forgot to torque that one. And then loosen these off. This slides off. Put your engine mount on. And this is a good one. And our driver's side one was bad because this is two separate pieces. This is molded onto that, and it was separated. So change your engine mounts. Super lucky somehow, and hit a chisel in between the crush washer and the back, and it popped off. So yeah, oil pump timing gear collar is off. As you can tell, this is an RB26. That is my GTR. I just pulled this out, and the reason being is GTR Festival and Tail of the Dragon event is coming up, and I want to make both of them, especially GTR Festival and Tail of the Dragon. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's Tail of the Dragon versus GTR, or GTR versus Tail of the Dragon. On Facebook, go check it out. We got 200 plus GTRs. It's gonna be a good time. Sorry, dog. And essentially, what we're doing is we're gonna take the oil pump off right now, or the oil sump, and then we're gonna order the Stewart Lask kit, and we're gonna cut this section out of the oil pump, and we're gonna weld in a extension, and I'm gonna put in the Tomei baffle kit, and we're gonna get 2.5 more quarts of oil. That way we don't get starvation for the big single turbo coming. Well, not big single, but single turbo coming. Still a big turbo. So without further ado, I already got this off. Let's get it off. And it's a heavy son of a bitch. Without breaking anything. And there's there's studs, and they're on there really good. So, plus it's very heavy with the differential still in it. And it's off. Very heavy. So right here, you can see them scraping off the gasket, being careful not to get anything inside of the valley. And then I'm just doing this to be prepped so whenever I put the oil pan back on, I don't have to worry about it. I'm just using a nice straight razor blade and cleaning it up. Alright, I haven't decided yet if I want to port it or not, but we are taking the oil pump off and upgrading to an N1. Again, we have the OEM oil pump off already, and we do have a long nose snout, which is good because it's the late model R32. Here is an N1 oil pump, and a lot of people say that you need an impact driver to get these bolts off because they're torqued to like 8 foot-pounds or 6 foot-pounds. I just used a Milwaukee DAC, trusted and tried and true, and it took them right out, no issue. And then the PRP kit comes with Allen heads to upgrade this backing plate and those bolts, so we're good. We're going to get rid of these. It is important to note when you do this that these two bolts are supposed to line up with each other, but these two dots have to be facing upwards, like this way, when you do this. And all we're doing is boop, boop. And whenever people port them, they supposedly round that out, but that's really smooth already, honestly. And so is that. So I don't know if I want to do that. I was thinking about doing it inside of there and even that out, but I haven't decided. But yeah, let's get this home. Alright, well, we decided to go ahead and port it, and this is the new one. And if you look, I don't know if you can see it or not, that hole in there used to be a 90-degree. I can't get my pinky in there. This one maybe is a little easier to see. Right there. Used to be a 90-degree. Now I can get my finger in there nice and smooth, so I'll even that out. So make it flow a little better. And then this doesn't have a dot on it, like I was explaining, but you can see the dot on the OEM one right there. But this one doesn't have it. But if you don't have that, you just have to make sure it's collar down, and then that's really it. And you can tell the difference of those teeth and how it's just a normal like wave pattern versus this pattern where this is going to increase your pressure and then throw it out faster. So how we did to port this was took a little carbide bit inside there. Obviously you have to take the backing plate off, front seal off, blow it out, clean it, blow it out, and relief valve. And now we need to pre-lube the relief valve, put that in there, torque it down, and then pre-lube all this, and then put the PRP backing plate on with Allen heads, and it gets rid of the, I think these are technically called like June 4 screws, so those will go away now. So let's continue. Alright, this is torqued down to 50 foot-pounds, and I put a little bit of red Loctite there, just a dab. And then we have to put the oil, pre-oil this. We pre-oil the relief valve, which you can see all the pre-lube. And then we have to pre-lube this, put it face down, and then put the backing plate on, which we have a billet backing plate from PRP also. And obviously you can tell that this is from Oil Pumps Gears, but PRP, and they are billet N1 oil pump. So it's going to prevent it from cracking. And then we have to torque these down to 5 foot-pounds with the billet backing plate. So let's continue. now have these on. These are torqued 9 foot-pounds. Seal is centered. I already taken it out, so it's gonna pop right out. And then the oil pump moves a little bit inside. Now we have to put the front seal on and clean this up, get the water pump on, and we're gonna put the start on the head. Excuse the mess in the middle of rebuilding a motor. But what we're doing is we are installing the Franklin Performance rear head drain, and all you have to do is essentially there's a freeze plug right here. You're gonna put in a chisel or a screwdriver, hit it on one end, pop it out. That'll pop out, and then lube your O-ring, press this in there like it is right now. It's not screwed in or anything. And then you're gonna take a Sharpie, and I mark the center holes so that way I could rotate it either way if I wanted to. Some people put more angle into it, rotate it one way, put a Sharpie mark so that way they can clock it a full 90 degrees. I'm keeping it simple. Once you have that marked, you're going to gently pull this out. Make sure you don't damage your O-ring. This is pre-lubed so it can slide in and out. There's our 2 Sharpie marks. When you buy this, you can buy it with a center punch, a tap, and a drill bit. I have an automatic center punch, so I'm going to use it instead. Or I might as well use this actually. How's everyone's day going? Slowly but surely making it through the days. Don't drop your drill bits. There's also to note, it's important to note that I have the camshafts out for this because I'm upgrading those too. But these shavings are going to go down in this port right here, and you can get a shop vac with like a little needle attachment down in there. And they're also going to go down through the holes right here, which is where the head studs are going to go. You're going to want to make sure to clean all of that out. That being said, get out of here. That being said, a little trick you can do is whenever you take your drill bit, coat it in grease, and it'll catch all the shavings. Drill a little bit, wipe it off, new grease, rinse, repeat. So it's been done 1,000 times, but I'll show you again. And you don't need an 8-pound sledgehammer to do this, but this is what I got. So now it's center punched. What we're gonna, and all that does, if you don't know, is your drill bit has a little tip in it, and it's just gonna put it in the hole to align it so it doesn't walk. Like so. So I can't move it out of there. Guaranteed fit. So let's get this into a drill bit and get the drilling. Like I said, you're just going to take some grease and you're just going to slowly drill it, clean it, drill it, clean it. And I plugged the cylinder plug hole, and that way no extra shavings get in there. And you're just going to slowly repeat the process until you get all the way through, and then you're going to tap it. Alright, so the kit comes with like a self-tapping bit. I've used these before and they actually work really good. But since this is my block and it's not like just a hole that I'm putting a bolt in, I want to be extra careful. But it is an M6. Let's verify this. M6 1.0. And as you can see, the drill bit has tapping threads into it, but I have an M6 1.0, and it's stamped on the side of it. This is snap-on, but if you do want to confirm it, threads do match up also. It is important, no matter what material you're tapping, to always put grease on this. So I'm going to put some Valvoline on it, and this is also going to catch the aluminum threads. So we're going to go in there nice and straight as possible. And it is aluminum, so it will cut super easy, thankfully. And this is what I mean when you go all the way through. those are all the metal shavings, and that's actually the tip of my bit. But the grease catches the majority of that. And we're going to clean all that out before we do anything else. But this one is now installed, so let's get this one in. And next step. It is installed in there. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. This is already pre-lubed, as you can see. Clean the dirt off of it. And essentially, see how I got all the dirt out of there? And then no more chunks. No more chunks, baby. No more chunks. And actually, I'm going to use some of this oil on these. Lube this up a little bit. And then before I even completely install this, I'm going to put flange sealant, probably, on these bolts. And as you can see, those bolts line up pretty... Oh, if you could see in there. Line up pretty good. I do need to get an Allen head to install these. Run them in, so... And let me go get an Allen head real quick. Yeah, as you can see, we've got an H5 T-handle. And she is in. I don't drop everything. And of course, it's got to get pressed in, but I'm not even sure if that's where I want it finally, so. That being said, that's nice and flush in there. Thanks for watching. I'm tired, so sorry it's not a super exciting video or super livid, but progress and one step closer to GTR Festival and Tail of the Dragon, and more or less just more horse purrs and getting everything prepped and reliable for everything. So I know what's been done to the motor, I know who's done it, and if something goes wrong, it's on me, unless it's tuning. And here we are. So again, thanks for watching. Have a good night. Later.